Okay, Foobs,
Hi.
how was the wrestling event? And people want to know your take on WWE 2K20. How was that wrestling event?
The event was awesome. It was, I mean, for me as the resident wrestling fan, it was my third week in a row of going to live wrestling for WWE.
Wow.
So I was like on the road with them all the time, just seeing the same guys. Be like, hey, you again? I'm like, yes, I've been everywhere. It's
Do
just what
they
I
all
do.
know you? Do they know, do they think you're part of the entourage now, or what's going on?
No, I mean, I know, like, I'm good friends with the guy who was the champ up until about 2 weeks ago. And then he lost. Not that he's no longer my friend, but he lost. He's not the champ anymore.
Oh, so he
But
lost, he's not the champ, and he's no longer, you disowned him as a friend.
I mean,
Sounds
I
like you.
kind of had to. I was like, bro, we can't really hang out
Who was that? Who is
anymore.
that?
It was Kofi Kingston.
Okay. Wow.
Kofi, yeah,
And
that was my
so
dog.
he wasn't at this last event then?
No, he wasn't at the event. He was wrestling, but he wasn't at the event itself.
Okay. What
Yeah,
was this event? What was going on? Obviously, you got to talk to everybody about the game, but what was going on at the event?
yeah. So it was just sort of a first hands-on impression for WWE 2K20, and
Yep.
they invited some of the talent out because it was at this. They had it in like one of the suite areas at the arena that they were doing the wrestling show at that night. So some of the other wrestlers who weren't even supposed to be there just showed up, popped in. One of my good friends, Xavier Woods, shout out to the Up Up Down Down YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I text him in the middle and I was like, bro, I took your belt because they have an Up Up Down Down belt, so I stole it. So I have it. I just didn't give it back.
There you go. That's good.
I took it from the current champ, Becky Lynch, the man.
How was the game?
The game was great. I mean, I only got to play. They had it set up in chunks, so groups of different media could play at different times instead of people trying to do interviews over the top of trying to get gameplay footage. They've done some new things. Like I'm excited to play more. It comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they've complete. It's the first game that Ukes hasn't been involved in.
That's what Sam I am 111 commented. He's always got some great points on stuff, and you can feel it, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean they've definitely they're trying to do new things with it, and it's one of those things where I feel like people are going to have to play with it for this iteration of the game, and then next year it's going to have what 2K did with basketball when they took over the basketball world with
Yeah.
their games, and they just had that certain polish and that certain look about it.
So wait a second. Visual Concepts it was named as what I saw in the footage. Did they make it?
Yeah,
So it was made in with the same group that makes NBA 2K.
I'm not sure if it's the same group,
Yeah,
but it's Visual Concepts is
but
taking the reins on.
in North Bay up there.
Yeah,
Crazy. That's a big
yeah.
change because Ukes has had it for a while, right?
I mean they've done it since
What
the N64 days.
what happened?
I don't know. I think it's just a Visual Concepts thing. I think, being that it's a 2K game, they want it to feel like a 2K game instead
Right.
of like a UK partnered or 2K partnered with a Ukes game.
Right. So what's the fallout then? Like, what are you hearing from other fans? Because this is a big change.
I don't know. I mean, again, the game doesn't come out until tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see because they've done some changes with the controls
Yep.
that I think people are either going to either really love or really hate. Like the reversal things, the reversals have been on the top bumper buttons since N64.
Yeah.
And now it's the Y button or the
Wow.
triangle button, whatever you're playing
Wow.
on. So it's like it used to kind of like it's like when you're in the middle of playing with the face buttons. It's kind of like to get up to that trigger button in time. It was always like a challenge. Now it's just like one of the buttons that you can easily hit. So it's going to be interesting to see how if it makes it feel easier to play,
Well,
or if it dumbs it down a little bit.
one of the things they're hyping up is the story mode, which looks a lot like the NBA story mode, which I love that mode in NBA. How was that to play for you?
It was cool. I mean, there's a Bay Area guy, AJ Kirsch. He did all the voice acting and a lot of the mocap for the last year's game.
Okay.
And so he's back again to do the story mode for this season. And then they've added a female story mode as well. So it's like a guy and a girl going on their 2K journey to become WWE champion.
That's cool. That's like that wrestling movie that The Rock produced.
Yeah, fighting with your family. Or
Yeah.
fighting with my family. His family.
Yeah, fighting for. Yeah. Did you see the movie?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Do you have to see everything related to wrestling? Is that part of your contract?
I mean, yeah, I feel like I love it enough. It's what I love. You know what I mean? Like until the
Yeah.
WWE comes calling saying we need this guy, I'm like,
There,
listen, guy.
I'm noticing some anger in the comments here. I'll see. Okay, now we have other promotions like AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, ROH, NWA, MLW, among many others. Now we have actual alternatives to WWE, and many people are taking notice. This is from Ryoga 316. Are you feeling like there is a bit of an exhaustion with WWE, or is it just more choice because WWE has made so many fans?
Yeah, I don't think it's an exhaustion. I mean, granted, there's a lot of wrestling on.
Yeah.
But I think it can only benefit the product. Like, people are going to have to step it up, especially,
Right.
WWE, who's been, the front runner of professional wrestling, at least televised pay-per-view. Like, they've been running the show for a very long time. And now with especially companies like AEW, which has started off incredibly strong, and they just started their TV promotion a couple of weeks ago to coincide with the WWE's NXT brand. That's going to be a good fight for wrestling fans. Like, it's the Wednesday Night War is what everybody's calling it, because back in the day it was the Monday Night War between WCW and WWE.
Yeah.
And now we got the Wednesday Night War between AEW and NXT,
And
which is going to make for better wrestling product. Like, people aren't going to be able to just chill out. Here's these guys again. People are going to be like, well, which show should I watch?
Yeah.
If you don't have a DVR that can record them both.
Right.
What are you doing? Get on there.
What were the wrestlers talking about for the competition out there? Like, what do you get? Do you feel like everybody feels like it's going to rise up the awareness and the value of the content?
I mean, I think even the wrestlers appreciate that there's competition.
Yeah.
Instead of just, I know a lot of the wrestlers, especially a lot of the wrestlers in today's market they've come from either one or the other, or they've been to one or the other. Or, so they know what it's like. They know, like, they can talk a little bit of trash. They're all taking cheap shots at each other, especially Chris Jericho, Canada's favorite son.
Yeah.
Who's the current champ on AEW. He's always taking pot shots at WWE, and the WWE takes subtle pot shots.
That's great, man. That's what it should be about, right? Yeah.
It's like, it's just like, yes, everybody wants a better product, and it's going to make more wrestling fans out of it. And if people like one, like the other, so be it. As long as you like wrestling, I think that's what they care about.
Awesome.
And it's just a really good time again. It's like back in the NWO and DX days of lore of long past.
I'm getting people putting out shout-outs like that for sure. I have to agree that anybody not watching both NXT and AEW are missing out. They're both great. That's from Tim M. Somebody asked if China is in the game.
Yeah.
She is? Was there a bit of an homage to her or anything like that, or what are they doing?
I don't think. Well, I think the big thing they're doing this year is they're focusing on the women's revolution of wrestling, which is very cool because, I mean, the women's wrestling has just exploded over the last few years. With last year, they had like their first all women's pay-per-view.
Yeah.
The women main evented WrestleMania this year, and that's sort of like. There's Becky Lynch is the cover athlete of WWE 2K20. Like, she was the first pick in the draft last week. It's just, I mean, for the women, it's cool that they're finally getting the showcase they deserve, because their talent level has just, you watch wrestling matches from, I mean, Lita, Trish Stratus, like their late 90s, early 2000s era of wrestling was just like, wow, these girls are stepping it up. But now it's like all of them do that.
Wow. And are they putting in a bunch of legacy characters and stuff?
Like
they always do.
The rosters. I don't even think they've finalized. I think they're still like there's going to be doing DLC packs, but there's going to be legends. Even their commercial that they had was just full of like, the Hulk Hogan's, your Stone Colds, your Stings, Ric Flairs, obviously the Man, Becky Lynch. I just love that she's the Man. She just posted something. It was like a year ago she called herself the Man, and it completely changed the landscape of women's wrestling.
Oh wow!
For forever.
That's awesome, man. We got Rick Savage said, ha ha, Jose ditched Kofi.
Never. Kofi's still my dog. Still my boy.
I got a question from Ryoga 316. How is WWE 2K20's creator wrestler feature compared to previous incarnations? Good question there, Ryoga 316.
Tis a good one. I didn't really dive into the creator. I was just mostly playing matches.
Yeah.
At the press event. I mean, they had a lot of the stuff was open. They're doing a lot of like visual eye candy for the sake of.
They know how to make pretty games over there. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can like you're wrestling in a graveyard in the Wyatt compound. You're just like beating people over the head with a tombstone. I saw a guy call upon like ghouls that grabbed this dude by his legs and he smashed him over the head with a tombstone, and they pinned him. And it was just like, what? There was a funny moment. This guy on YouTube, Dankops, was playing my buddy Xavier Woods from the Up Down Down channel, and they had a match. And Xavier Woods at one point took the turnbuckles off the rope, like took the cover off the turnbuckles, and the Chris hit him with some kind of finisher. He went for the pin, and the ref, instead of counting, was like, something's not right. I need to go fix these turnbuckles. And he like walks over.
No
he
way.
starts putting the turnbuckle back. I was like, what's happening? I just hit him with the finisher. This is go time. The ref's like, he's doing his job. Ref's on point. You got to make sure that everything is going by the book, and you got to put these turnbuckle covers back on.
That is awesome.
If you're in a heated feud and you're about to get pinned, take off the turnbuckle covers. Could save you if the ref's good enough.
So what is Ukes going to do now? Are they making another wrestling game? Or did they do Fire Pro?
I have no idea.
They're not Fire Pro, right?
I don't know the background of exactly how it came to fruition.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, they've had such a long history of creating these games. It's a shame if they don't get to do it anymore. It would be wild if they started.
It sounds like
doing
all these
AEW
other leagues or all these other type, wrestling organizations are coming out there. Speaking of which, Uncle Jay says WCW versus NWO for N64 was my favorite, and I even bought it a few months ago. Honestly, haven't played any of the 2K series, but really enjoyed the SmackDown games on PlayStation 1. That's the thing about these games, right? Like, it's not just the eras of wrestling that people have a real love and adoration for, but also these different years of these different games really matter to different people.
There's Xavier Woods, he's a teammate of Kofi Kingston, so they're in the same the New Day faction. Yeah. He's big. He's one of the biggest gamers in the WWE, and him and another wrestler, they do like a GM mode from like SmackDown versus Raw, from like the old PS2 WWE games. They're like, why can we get a GM mode in the new games, guys? Let's get this going. Yeah. So it's funny to see like some of the modes that people really love. Like there used to be create a finisher, and you can name your finisher on the old PlayStation SmackDown games. And I'm like, I want to name my finisher, have some cool name pop up. You just got FUBAR.
I'm surprised that isn't in there.
It should be.
What is your favorite year of wrestling games so far?
Oh man, I mean, I've always loved the SmackDown games. They were so crazy cool looking when they first came out. But back in the No Mercy, obviously, which is one of the favorite wrestling games. There's a Japanese wrestling game that came out after No Mercy that was only on the Japanese N64 called Virtual Pro Wrestling 2.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was like the sequel to No Mercy that never came out in America, and it was just for the people who got to play it. They know if you played BPW 2, I got a box copy sitting on my shelf right there. I'm like,
Our friend Johnny Dark has a non-wrestling question. I don't know if you're qualified to answer this one, but it's pretty safe. It is Jose pumped for Modern Warfare?
That game looks awesome. Yeah. I haven't really sat down and like played. Like I missed Battlefield V5, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I've just been playing a lot of Dead Cells still, years later.
Are you kidding me?
I'm still waiting for that Spelunky 2 drop.
Spelunky
2 is coming soon.
Sometimes the games just grab you, but you know what? You're going to get a code for. I'm not even going to ask 2K for a code for WWE, right? You've got one lined up.
It's downloading right now.
Okay, will you review that for us? Will you shoot the review, and we'll do a review on the run of you reviewing that game?
Yeah.
That would be great, dude. That would be awesome.
Let me double check. Let me make sure my PlayStation. I downloaded it on my phone.
Okay. All right.
Hopefully it's going. PlayStation.
Adrian Leon says, "What's your favorite N64 wrestling gag? Was it VPW?
VPW 2. I mean, No Mercy is my go-to, just because people know that game. But if they play Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, they know.
So you're downloading the game right now, and Adrian's also wondering if you're going to be Spike Chunsoft developed Fire Pro Wrestling World. Thank you. Thank you, Sam I Am. Adrian wants to know if you're going to be streaming WWE 2K20.
Yeah, most likely. I need to get back.
Deck for you?
I haven't streamed in a while. I've been too busy traveling with WWE. I mean, really, actually, I was like, how do these guys find this time? They're like, man, I've hung out with these guys. They were in San Francisco. Then we did the Staples Center in LA. Then we did Vegas. I couldn't go to Indianapolis this past week. I missed it. It was my first SmackDown I've missed in a month.
You are still living the dream, my friend. I love it. You're doing
I
it.
mean, I got to, man. I love
And-
me my pro wrestling sports.
And this man is an engaged man. He asked
True, guys.
his girlfriend
I don't get
to marry him. Was it last month? Congratulations,
yeah,
my friend.
it's 4th of July, man. And then my fiance decided that she was going to take a job in Australia for 3 months,
Oh
which
my
was
God.
great. It was great. She finally came back this week, and I was just like, man, I haven't seen you in 40 days. And
Oh
she's like,
my
I'll be
God,
home for a
that's-
couple weeks, and then she's leaving again for 5 weeks. But it's okay because I'm going to go down to Australia and visit her.
Seriously, she's working out of Australia and living in Australia?
Yeah, man. I mean, she was
Crazy.
until this past Friday when she came home.
And now you're going to go back down and hang out with her a little bit.
Yeah, I want to go
Awesome.
down. You know, I want to go down under. If you know what I mean. You're going to be on Australia. That's all I got. You know.
Well, congrats, brother. I'm going to talk with you about getting this review out of you, but also let's figure something for you to shoot something back from Australia. That would be awesome. Lots of great
Yeah,
game
no, I
makers
just
down
got.
there.
I caved in. I got the new iPhone, and I had the 7 Plus for forever, and I was like, that camera's pretty sleek. I'm going
Sweet.
to have to bite the
Yeah.
bullet and get that new 11.
That camera's fantastic for shooting. So yeah, let's get some stuff with you. But thank you for joining us, my friend. We call him Professor Wrestling right there. This is awesome. You are the man for the job. Thank you, Foobs. Enjoy WWE 2K20. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. Everybody,
Too sweet, guys. Too
Jose
sweet.
Sanchez. Thank you, sir. Thank you.